welcome back to episode 46 of Tall Boy Radio. Thank you to anybody who joined into the Brexit episode and stuck with us all the way through. And I'll say thank you now for the comments because we're recording this before I've seen any of them. So without further ado, let's say hello and tell everybody a little bit about what we're drinking. Let's start with Ken this time.
Good evening, gentlemen. We go again. The Brexit one, if you did stick with it, wow. I think we've used like a reservoir's worth of hot water to get clean after that one. Not an easy one. So at the moment, I've got a coffee, but another Appleton 8-year reserve with Pepsi, cherry. I'm hoping it's very nice. Oh, yeah.
Andy?
Oh, it's good.
Howdy. Today we're on left again. Because it's lovely stuff.
It's a good beer.
It is lovely stuff.
I
think just reiterating what Saad and Ken said, if you did manage to stick with us through the Brexit one, well done. It was challenging to record in some places, but sort of fun at the same time. This week I am drinking a good old Hoygarden. Love Hoygarden, and again out of official TBR merch. So yeah, looking forward to this one. And as an absolute bonus, Juventus have just scored. So that sorry, I just got a bet on, so that's fine.
If you listen to this, they scored 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's right.
But that helps, so that's fine.
How did MK Dons getting on? Are they still in your racket? Are the MK Dons winning your racket now?
Ad, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a beer that's made quite locally to Andrew, actually, in Stockport, as I understand it. Yeah, Old Tom, well spotted, Ken. Yeah, it's a decent one. It's a bit dark, and I'd say I'll be drinking out of a TBR glass, but it's that dark, you can't tell. Our images have vanished, which some would say was a vast improvement. So yeah, but actually, just going back to what Gaz said as well about the glass that he has there being sort of official merch, something we're going to look at adding in the new year to the Tall Boy Radio website. That's it. If you're watching YouTube, check it out there. That TBR glass, hopefully we're going to have it available for purchase in the new year. We're going to set it up on an Etsy page. So yeah, and we can be able to put that design onto a number of different glasses. So if you want an IPA glass or the glass that Gaz is drinking out of, which is just a fairly unique beer glass actually that we picked up, then we're going to be able to do that. So this
we to do like the thingy from like the game shows where it's like, ooh,
yeah, that's
it.
Look at we need some music.
Probably like you mean it.
Yeah. Like a generation game where you get one coming across for that, and you get the next one coming across for that. Oh my god, that's amazing! There's one for the target audience generation game.
That's it. Yeah,
tonight, kids.
Tonight, Gary is Isla St. Clair.
Edit that in. Blimey, that's a reach. Wow.
It is. So this week we're going to be talking about dreams. Thank you. Yeah, it was just simply changing the subject. So yeah, this week we're going to be talking about dreams. Maybe it's a bit more upbeat. I don't know. It could go down some really dark avenues. You know, I certainly got a story about one of Gaz's dreams that I hopefully won't get shared.
Go on, I'm in.
No, you ain't in, trust me. So, dreams, we've all got access to the internet in front of us. So if we at some point, if we can share some of our dreams and Google them and try and get an answer back. And certainly, before we recorded, we had Jenny and Amy, Gaz's wife and daughter, talking in the background, sharing what they most dream about. So maybe we can get Googling them and give them some answers. And again, listeners, if you're listening, if you want to share your dreams with us, we'll certainly talk about them on another episode and get analysing those. So who wants to go first then? Who wants to share one of their dreams with us before we get started and talking about the different dreams? Let's jump straight on a dream meaning.
I've had a dream within a dream where I woke up in my dream to tell my brother that I had a dream in my dream.
Okay.
Most of my when I was a kid, my dreams centered around our old house on Western Avenue in Macclesfield, and there was always the worst ones were always the ones where there was a guy who was trying to get me and he had no face. Very much like Slender Man. But I used to open the door and there he'd be, or he'd pop up out the window in the kitchen window, or he'd pop up out of nowhere. Now I'm not sure whether that was my brain telling me I was looking for my dad, or trying to fill the void. Maybe Gary, you had something similar, obviously with regards to the experiences you've had. But I find dreams. I think all of us have been in a case where the other half has had a dream that you've done something dumb in the dream and they take it out on you the next day. Or is it just me?
Every day for me.
Yeah. I feel you.
What did you do that for, Andy? No. Exactly. You were dreaming. Oh, right. Okay.
Exactly. Because I've had ones recently where obviously she's had a dream, and then the next day, or she'll be really low, and I'm just like, what's happened? What have I done? And she's like, nothing, just a bad dream. What did I do in the dream? Well, it just wasn't very nice to it. There were other people. It's just like, right, okay. This is not me, by the way. I didn't do it. It's just a dream. But dreams have a massive psychological effect on you as a person and on your day-to-day basis. Some people have incredible things like lucid dreams where people are self-aware.
Well, just going back to what you were saying there at the start, when he said to you, you went and woke your brother up in your dream and told him that you were dreaming. That is a lucid dream. It's a dream that you are aware that you're dreaming in.
I was awake. I woke in my dream. I dreamt. I woke up back in Western Avenue, and I went into our old bedroom upstairs in Western Avenue, and Tobe was in there, and I said to him, man, I just had a dream. Wow. And he was building something like bunk beds or something, or boxes or something, and he was just sat there, and he was just like, right. And then I woke up, and I was just like, I've just had a dream in my dream, telling my brother about the dream I had in my... Absolutely mental. It's crazy. I mean, everybody gets them. I'm sure you guys have all had ones where you, in the middle of the night, where you've had dreams, you've woken up in the middle of them. Remember the ones where we're kids? It's just like, if you fall after, if you wake up, if you die in your dream, you die, or you wake up with a bump or something like that.
Yeah.
When you think you're falling out of bed and stuff.
I mean, obviously, I had, and you talk about waking dreams and being conscious through your dreams, and that, you know, that's a phrase that doctors or have it, you know, use, dream analysts use it, is that you have a waking dream or lucid dream, and you are aware consciously of your surroundings, even though you might still be in a dream state, sort of thing. And obviously, I told a story when I think it was it the parapsychology episode, and I told a story about dreaming and having a sensation of falling and effectively waking or being aware of what I perceived then to be my mum who'd passed away at the end of the bed, and so, you know, the dreams are, I suppose, they're quite a dangerous thing, really, because actually a lot of it is just sort of subconscious. And don't get me wrong, I mean, growing up, I used to dream about running out playing football for England at Wembley, and, you know, typical kid at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, love football and love sport, and you know, and I suppose a lot of my dreams then growing up, I suppose in particular, do dreams relate to memories? So, you know, I would dream a lot, obviously just after my mum died, I would dream a lot about environments and memories that I had of my mum. So, you know, so are dreams and memories interlinked? I suppose they must be, without being a sort of doctor, a professor as such. I don't know, but they must be, surely. Can one influence the other? I guess. I don't know. I suppose memories would influence dreams more than the other way round. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, everybody wakes up that odd occasion where you go, you know what? God, I had the most weird fudging dreams last night. You won't believe what I and you laugh about it, and they can be uplifting, and obviously you can go down the dark route, and they can be quite somber and sad sort of thing. But I think everybody has a dream, you know, in terms of, you know, let's say mine growing up was, I wanted, when I was sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, I wanted to be a professional footballer. Never going to happen, really, but, you know, I would dream about scoring the winning penalty in a World Cup, or, you know, and all kids have that vision of grandeur, don't they?
Is it all right if I just interject there a second and stop you in your tracks? I just want to ask you a question about that. So when you say you dreamt about scoring goals at Wembley for England and everything, were they dreams or were they daydreams? No, that's a valid question.
Well, I don't know.
I just want to know if he was actually at night dreaming about that. I think that's
don't get
interesting.
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think that there were times during the day that you would sit there and you would go, oh, God, you might be watching something on TV and, God, can you imagine if that was me or whatever? And then does that then influence you when you're asleep? And obviously you go back to, and obviously I'm not a dream psychologist and stuff, but I know enough about if you wake up when you sleep and you wake up within your non-rapid eye movement, which is your deep sleep state, you don't remember your dreams. But then if you wake up during your rapid eye movement phase of sleep, you will remember them.
That's right. Yeah.
So so you look at sleep patterns.
The only reason I asked is I just wondered. I mean, I am a sports fan, big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, big Arsenal fan, but certainly I wasn't sporty in my youth.
I mean, you couldn't catch a cold, though, I'd say. Would you dream of catching a Super Bowl ever? I mean, I know you're like the most uncoordinated guy I know, but
I am.
Would you have dream? I mean, I was obviously
in my dreams, I can catch things.
Right, okay. So dreams don't necessarily mirror reality then, is that what you're saying?
I don't know if I've ever dreamt of a sporting event or actually been sportingly prolific.
Really?
That's the reason I asked.
That surprised me because obviously you're a massive Steelers fan and a massive Arsenal fan. And I know that you aren't necessarily the best footballer I've ever seen, and
possibly the worst.
and when we've been down to London to NFL weekends and stuff, and we were on the catching cradle, you weren't necessarily the best catcher in American football I've ever seen. To be fair, you look like Giant Haystack jumping on a bouncy castle, if I'm honest. But
maybe we'll share that one on social.
But it surprises me that you say you can't ever, because surely, I don't know. Surely as a fan, would you not put yourself in the shoe? Maybe not catching him, or maybe being in the shoes of Big Ben and throwing that game-winning touchdown, or have you never had that type of?
I've never had it in my sleep, in my daydreaming. When I'm sat at work when I should have been doing something else, then maybe, but I don't think I can't. Certainly, I can't recall. Like, say, you need to wake up to remember those dreams. But maybe I've had it and I don't recall. I don't know, but I've certainly never. And I can't. That's the reason why I asked it. Fascinating. I know you're a huge sports fan, and growing up, you played an awful lot.
I'm a massive sport.
Considerably proficient in quite a few sports.
Just a quick question though: if you do wake up within your REM phase, is it only that dream you remember, or do you remember your previous dreams from the night? So can you recall and say, well, actually, God, I remember dreaming about this and this last night, or is it only that one dream that you wake up in the middle of? And genuinely, I don't know.
I think it's. I mean, typically, I did write it down here somewhere that during a night you'll have 4 to 6 dreams per average night, and the typical length of each dream is 5 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a fairly, it's a fairly short period of time potentially. Yeah. But as far as my understanding is, I think same as yourself. I'm not an expert, but when you wake up during a dream, those are the ones that you remember, and the body releases chemicals, which means that you don't. That throughout the day, more often than not, those dreams will be forgotten. So an awful lot of your dreams will be forgotten.
And it sort of makes sense, because if you imagine all those memories piling on top of each other, all the dreams that you've had, I suppose, does your dream filter is it a bit like a glass where you've only got so many to let others in, you've got to let some out? I don't know. Is there only so much capacity for a number of dreams? Because if you kept adding dream on dream on dream, does that mean that the capacity of your brain is therefore taken up? Because I can't remember a dream I had last night. I can't remember a dream I had 2 nights ago, but I can remember certain dreams that maybe I had years ago. So, and it's interesting when you start delving into the sort of psyche of it, which dreams become long-standing, which dreams are important. Because to me, certain dreams that I remember, I would suggest that actually I don't really have any real significance for me. They're not related to my mum, they're not related to my family, they're not related to... Yet I remember them. Whereas other dreams that I've had about my mum and about my family and about environments and situations that I've been in, I can't remember. Does that make sense? So it's a bit weird as to which. How do you distinguish between dreams that are important to you, which means that you can recall them, and which dreams you can't? I don't know. It is a bit weird, really. And I suppose I get your point as to why you said, well, was it a dream? Was it a daydream? And was it actually during the day that you were thinking about these things or not? I don't know.
And have you got a dream you want to chuck forth that we can analyse for you?
I've got one. I'll keep it in my pocket for later on. But I think growing up, I was in a lot. I play a lot of sports up to last year, and I think my reoccurring theme was I'll be running, but it was like I was running on the spot. Like you can't move. And most nights I'll have a dream around that, and you just be like, whether it's the wind or something like that, I'll just be leaning into it trying to run, and I just couldn't do it. That was really common. Yeah, I think that's all I can remember. I get a lot of deja vu stuff as well.
You see, no. It's interesting because a lot of my recurring dreams are obviously of a sporting nature, and I obviously play a lot of golf and stuff. So a lot of mine would be hitting a first tee shot down a particular course, or imagining myself in a situation where I'm, and it takes one of two forms. Either I am inside the body of somebody else, like a Dustin Johnson, a Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, and I'm hitting the shot that they are hitting. But similarly, I could quite easily be dreaming about a situation where I'm standing on the tee as Gary and I'm hitting a tee shot. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like when I'm thinking particularly about sort of certain sports, the Beckham penalty in the World Cup against Argentina, whatever, I imagine myself being in that situation and being him in that situation. But similarly, I can also imagine a dream where it's actually me taking the penalty as opposed to me imagining myself in David Beckham's shoes taking that penalty. Does that make sense? So sometimes I suppose I transfer my own thoughts onto that personality, and I wonder what that would feel like.
Before we look at Gaz dream, then he's David Beckham. Well, let's get back to Andy's dream and say, I've just had a quick Google of this. So dreams that you're trying to run and you physically can't can potentially signify a lack of self-esteem or self-confidence, or it could be the fact that you're in that. When you are in that rapid eye movement state of dreaming, you are paralyzed. You can't move. Your body does not physically move at all. And it could be a reflection of that. In your dream, you need to run, but you are aware that your body cannot move and you can't move. And that's where the frustration comes. There's a conflict between the two. So that's quite interesting.
The first, I think, probably up until my 20s, I was a very shy, unconfident guy, should we say. So it's probably that.
There you go.
There's a question for you then. Do you think that you as an individual in your personality influences your dreams, or can it be the other way around? And can dreams actually then make you a different type of person, a different personality, depending on how you feel? I don't know.
I'd say a bit of everything, because I think, like, growing up, I was dead shy in that, but in a dream, I could be a leader of a group, for example. That's my subconscious projecting me as something I want to be, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So. But
were you quite shy as a person, but still played sport and therefore maybe excelled within the sporting field, but then felt off that sporting field? You were still quite withdrawn, or what? I'm just.
Very. I wouldn't say antisocial, but I played in all the. Like we had multiple. Like for football, we'll have 4 teams in my school: A, B, C, D, and E. Or A, B, C, D.
What's that you for that?
Answers on a postcard, guys. Answers on a postcard. Brilliant.
I was getting carried away in my alphabet then.
I
was always in the 80s.
A, B, C, D, and E, and I was in E. Yeah, so you didn't really play, did you?
I've got 6 fingers for you. I was always in the top team, so being a nerd, I'd beat all sporty people, for example. So, yeah, there you go.
I mean, obviously, everybody. analyses dreams, and obviously Adam mentioned it earlier. You know, Jenny, my wife, sort of dreams a lot about weirdly sort of being chased, and she always feels as she's done something and she's being chased all the time. And I don't know, I was probably going to Google it now, what it means in terms of like if you're being chased constantly in a dream. Amy wakes up, my daughter wakes up all the time and says, "Oh my God, I've just had like the weirdest dream." And she talks about like, weird dreams, like just like proper random stuff. And
could be an Amy thing, that my missus is exactly the same.
Yeah.
She's got I've got to tell you about my dream. Like, no, you don't. You don't have to.
But like weird dreams. Go on, I know you've Googled it.
I've Googled it actually. And first of all, the thing it said, according to general theories, it actually matters as to who you're chased by. But I also heard it mentioned. Am I right in saying that she's chased? She dreams of being chased by sharks?
Yeah. She has dreams about sharks a lot, and she doesn't like sharks. So actually, she generally doesn't like sharks.
Well, she's going to like this. Okay. Not liking sharks has paid off. It's supposed to symbolize good luck and success in tough situations.
She'll love that.
Yeah,
she'll love that. So
it works for you in your career or your business, and you will get a chain of success. That's what someone by the name of Nicoletti has put forward.
I'll tell her to keep dreaming about being chased by sharks. If that's
listen, I'm going to try.
I'll try that tonight.
I'm watching Jaws before I go to bed.
and it is weird because genuinely Jenny doesn't really like sharks and stuff, and growing up, and she made the joke about watching Jaws and stuff. But she genuinely, if the stuff on TV with sharks, what was it? Deep water. That was it.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. That was the one. Yeah. So she watched that and she's like, "Oh my God, sharks that can like do this and do that." That's and literally that freaked her out and stuff. So she doesn't really like sharks per se. But yeah, being chased and sharks. Okay, yeah.
I'll share a dream with you now as well that I regularly have, and if you want to Google this one, you can. I'll be dead honest, this is a little bit embarrassing because I frequently, and I mean frequently, in maybe at least once a week, dream that basically we're in a social situation and I think, "Oh, fuck it, I'm going to get naked," and that's it. All of a sudden, I'm sat there. Everybody else is dressed, and I'm sat naked. I look down and go, "Oh, I've got such a little wiener," and that's it. And I suddenly become I feel really aware.
Strangely enough, dude, it talks about insecurities.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it to do with the fact that you're naked from the waist down now?
The worst thing is I wake up and it's come true.
Oh, still there.
Yeah. No, honestly, I regularly have it. Yeah, I must admit, I've Googled it myself. And yeah, it is about insecurities.
Okay, so most psychologists agree it probably doesn't represent a literal desire to be naked in public, but more likely is related to being embarrassed about something about yourself that other people don't necessarily know about you.
I haven't got a little winky, I promise.
However, other psychologists have suggested this type of dream comes from harbouring fears of guilt or inferiority about a particular subject or feelings of neglect in the past.
Yeah.
So and it is weird because I've just mentioned that and thanks for sharing that ad and stuff, but but you could interpret that lots of different people can interpret the same dream in lots of different ways, can't they? They can say it could be this or it could be this, or so is there a right, is there a wrong? I don't know. I mean, is it guilt? And take Ad's dream. Yeah. Is it guilt? Is it an insecurity? Is it something else? So
is it a daydream?
Is it a daydream? Yeah. Was it something he actually did?
According to scientific studies, apparently signs of dreaming have been in all mammals, including monkeys, dogs, cats, rats, elephants, and shrews. Now, we've all seen dogs and cats sleeping, just running and twitching and stuff. And apparently, it's also signs of dreaming in birds and reptiles. Is dolphins, obviously, especially because of their high cognitive ability. Many hypotheses apparently suggest that dreams serve no particular purpose whatsoever, and they're simply a byproduct of biochemical processes that only occur in the brain during sleep. Also, it's a well-known fact that anybody you see in a dream, you've seen that face.
That's
Only once you've seen that, for as long as it was half a second, 3 hours.
Yeah.
You've seen that face at least once.
I've read this, and literally, if you're going to dream like about somebody who is planning on doing you harm or something like that in a dream, you've literally for a fleeting second walked past somebody in the street, and your subconscious mind has registered that person's face and thought he didn't look like a nice dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have to consciously attribute them not being nice to then them being in your dream and not doing nice things to you, or is it just literally so everybody that does something nasty to you in a dream, you will have seen them, not necessarily consciously attributed that to them, but I don't know, obviously, on this podcast, so I've seen Kenn, I've seen Andy, I've seen Ed, so I'll go to sleep and I think, right, Ken's chased me down with a machete or whatever, so, but I don't consciously, I'm not looking at Kenn now thinking, actually, he wants to do me harm, therefore he's a bad person, therefore I'll dream about him doing bad things.
Potentially, but ultimately, your eyes will register a face, and you immediately, whether you recognize it consciously or subconsciously, you will form an opinion based on what you are seeing, the information that your eyes are telling you. So if you see a face which you think is aggressive or unpleasant, when you then dream about somebody who's going to do you harm, that face is brought forward because it is pulled from your subconscious in your dream.
It's like you said, Andy, whether you consciously or subconsciously, if you see a face for half a second, your brain immediately just goes, right, that's what I think of it, and then just puts it away, and then it could reappear in the middle of the night and scare you half to death, or it could be the boon you've been looking for.
And I suppose when you look at sort of theory related to, and slightly off topic now, but I'll bring it back in a minute, sort of interviews and seeing people for the first time, and that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. When you first see somebody from a business point of view, from an interview point of view, if you're interviewing somebody, they walk into the room, and even before they've sat down, you've made an opinion of that person.
Yeah.
So literally within 2 seconds, you've made an opinion. And actually, it takes a lot longer time for that person to then change your opinion of them. Yeah. So I suppose in a way what you're saying is that that's sort of the same thing, is that you see somebody, something, and you automatically attribute characteristics to them, good, bad, evil, whatever it may be, and I don't like the look of that person. Well, why? Well, I don't like the look of them. And I suppose it might be a difficult for you to rationalise, but your subconscious brain has maybe formed an opinion of them. Is that what Yeah,
a lot of people heading back to what you were saying about dreams and stuff like that. It's just like a lot of alien encounters or abductions are commonly described as dream sequences.
Yeah, dreamlike. Yeah, I know that. So I know that I've read various sort of journals and papers, and people say it was almost like a dream-like hypnotic state type, absolutely. Higher consciousness type thing, I suppose. But it's weird because is there a common? Do you have recurring dreams? Do you dream? And I know lots of people do, and I know Jenny does, and she dreams a lot about being chased. But I don't think I have lots of recurring dreams in terms of this. Okay, I might have. Okay, I like playing golf at that golf course, and I like playing golf at that course, but I don't have. I think I have control over. It's going to sound a bit weird now, and I know I don't, but I feel as though I have control over my dreams, because when I first close my eyes, it's like, right, that golf course or that football stadium or that touchdown or whatever. Now I might then.
I've just got to ask you a question. Gaz, have you ever had a dream that wasn't about sport?
This is going to sound weird. Very honestly, this is like straight up, like very rarely in terms of when I first go to sleep. When I first go, you first go to sleep and your mind drifts. Genuinely, I think I dream about sport. I would say 90% of the time. And that's not even, like, genuinely. No, I'm not saying for 1 minute that my rapid eye movement phase in the middle of the night is about sport, because I might not remember that. But honestly, dude, I reckon 90% of the time when I first go to sleep, I will dream about, as I said, either me being in a sporting situation or me trying to project what I might feel if that person is in that sporting environment. But yeah, honestly, yeah, maybe, yeah, a lot of the time. Seriously.
As an Everton fan, best kept in your dreams, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Paul Rideout's header in the FA Cup final. I dream about that all the time. It's all silverware in the last 30 years.
I imagine he does as well.
Absolutely. So that's one thing we've got in common. It's brilliant. But no, I think I genuinely do. And as I say, there obviously will be lots of other dreams that I dream about through the night that you don't wake up in, and therefore you don't remember. But I think it is. I honestly do. I think genuinely, I think you're probably right.
There you go. We solved one conundrum anyway from this episode. Go on then, Ken. Tell us about your recurring dream.
My recurring dream usually involves my old high school and defending it from with some of my old work colleagues, to some of my old classmates and my old high school, and just defending it from what seems to be a shadowy government organisation, but it usually ends in violence. So, I don't. Maybe it's because my high school. I felt like high school for me was like a battleground. I despised it. I was bullied for 5 years, and it was a horrendous time. And I'm glad I left.
But it's interesting though that if you had such a negative experience, that actually in your dream you're defending that. Would you not? I
don't think I'm defending it. I think it's just the battleground.
Oh, okay.
Where the thing happening. I think I'm defending a greater ideal.
So you're not in your dream saying you can't take this school. It just happens to be the environment that you're in.
Yeah, we usually end up usually some sort of tower and a staircase on the inside, and usually end up on the roof and stuff like that.
So, quick question then: is it always within the same time period genre? So do you always defend it with bow and arrows, or sometimes is it lightsabers? Is it intergalactic missiles? Is it always?
No, it's
always the same type of.
It's usually firearms. It's usually firearms, and modern day, if not 10 years ago, it's within that ballpark. But it's always it doesn't happen all the time. But I seem to have these dreams that seem to be a running like a TV series. I'll have one, and then 6 months later I'll have the second part, which leads to the third part, which is the fourth part. It's been a continuing theme for very much like the guy with, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, the guy with no face. When I got to my later teens and sort of moved on into the next stage of my life, he stopped appearing, but in times that he appears every so often, and those are the times where I'll be lying in bed and I'll wake up like that, and I'm just laid there like I'm just waiting for something, which isn't going to happen.
I know you mentioned that previously. You feel as though you're lying there, and it's almost like you're waiting for somebody to come through the door, or you're waiting for an event to happen. And I know might have been the parapsychology episode. And I remember you saying about that. And is that do you feel, is it a paralysis at that point, and your conscious mind is like something's coming through that door, but I can't move?
Well, my conscious mind knows, my brain, for all intents and purposes, is reasonably logical. It will know that there should be nothing coming through the door, but my emotional side of my brain is like, there's something coming. I know that I can feel it. There's something coming.
And there's that sort of
the fight between. Yeah. Hang on.
So I've done a bit of Googling. I mean, whether Google's the most reliable source, I don't know. So taking it back to your first dream, and obviously you talked about high school, and it was an unpleasant experience for you. Those dreams about violence in that scenario, according to Google, indicate a repressed anger or a rage about that situation, something that internally that needs to be dealt with, which is interesting when you tell us that about it.
That is a great shout. I hated high school. I absolutely hated it. When I was there, my first right, all right, let's do this. My first couple of days there, when everybody else was getting to know the place and walk around and all that sort of stuff, I remember the second day I was there, I was effectively knocked out of my homeroom by people in my old primary school who I went to school with no more than 6 months earlier. So basically, I got battered in my homeroom, and I couldn't. All I remember is walking around what was the old sports hall, and I can still see him now. And the science block is there. And I'm looking down towards what was classed as the old animal house near the Black Forest perch. And I remember them all as a man just turning around and saying, "Get him." And they chased me back there and just basically battered me. And the school did nothing. But for me, that just destroyed my entire... As soon as I could get out of high school, I went to college immediately. There wasn't even a contest. And you know what? That's an excellent... I'm sorry to bring the tone down, guys. So he's just gone, oh.
No.
I think the Google thing's very interesting because I am exceedingly angry with, A, that I let myself down by not doing something about it.
You didn't let yourself down. You didn't let yourself down.
The school let me down.
I
then, at that point, I think it was a year, 7, 8... What is it now, guys? It's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10, 11, yeah. So in year 8, I was so tired of the school I was at, I went and did an entry exam for King's School.
Okay.
Passed that, and then decided that would have been too much of a wrench for me because obviously I've already got my school now. Yeah. So I was at, and then did all that because my dad went to King's School, and I thought that'd be a nice way to follow in his footsteps. And then I spent the next, up until literally, I think it was 4 months before we did our GCSEs, when a guy, we were in a mobile waiting for the lesson to start, and there was some messing about and stuff, and there was a cupboard and stuff. And one of the guys just turned around to me and goes, "You know what, Ken, you're all right." And it stopped. They just accepted me at that point. It all just stopped. But for 4.5 years, high school was terror. It was horrendous, and I hated going. And I'm still angry about the fact that not only did I never get any resolution as to why me, why just that particular point in time and why me, but why the school did nothing, why my friends did nothing, people I'd gone to school with months earlier and played football with on the school team and played cricket with, they just all decided just to turn. So yeah, I think that's an excellent shout from Google. I love that. Yeah. That actually answers a lot of questions.
It's interesting because you said at the start there that the potentially dreams are just electrical impulses. Yet there is that other school of thought which that sort of buys into, and I'm actually nervous then about bringing up the next one about the dreams with a person with no face, because those dreams actually are of an alien race, because you can't put a physical face to it.
He has no face. He literally has no face. I can still remember those dreams now. He has no face. He comes to my front door. He pops up at the front kitchen window. He sometimes appears at the background, and I'll open the door, and there he is. And I'm just like,
it's dreaming of something that's otherworldly, something that we have no knowledge of. And
that would explain a lot, mate, considering my beliefs, right?
I literally.
So there's a conspiracy straight away.
Exactly.
Yeah, effectively, that's
conspiracy. Yeah.
Can I just say from my point of view, like, Ken, thank you very much, and I know that was
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was hard, but sometimes
that stuff. But
it's cathartic being on the show sometimes and putting it out there for everybody to listen to, because I can't be the only person who went through that. So at least if somebody else is listening to this, thinking, you know what, I hate that, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And so thank you. I appreciate it.
No. I just want to say, because it is, we talk about various things, and we know that everybody doesn't necessarily feel the same way that certain people do. Whatever. But I just want to say, thank you for sharing that. That's obviously a memory that you have, and I hope our listeners appreciate, what you sort of shared with us there. So that that. Just for me, thanks for that, and it's great that you feel as though you're able to chat about it, talk about that. So just a thanks for me really for that. But
Just a quick thought.
It is weird that you've got that guy with no face, and I'd sort of said that might signify sort of an otherworldly, almost ethereal sort of body, and actually that ties in perfectly with sort of your sort of beliefs and philosophies and thoughts on lots of other different things. So this is interesting in terms of, does it go back to what I said right at the start in terms of what influences what? Do your thoughts and impressions influence your dreams, or actually is it your subconscious dreams that then influence your conscious thought? And which way round is it?
I think in relation to what Adam was saying, I think earlier on, it's just like you had dreams as a kid of scoring the winning goal at Wembley, etc.
Yeah.
I never had those dreams. I never had dreams about sport or scoring goals or winning the test match or winning the 800 meters.
You see, I had all of them.
I had all of them.
Hitting the winning runs in a test match, winning a gold medal, winning, scoring a penalty at Wembley, captaining my country, all of those things.
I never even that if I did have them, I genuinely do not remember them because I never looked at myself as being particularly sporty. I remember playing for St. Edward's Primary School as a kid and remember thinking, wow, this is awesome to be playing for my school.
Yeah.
But I never dreamt about playing for England or playing cricket for England or doing any of those sort of things for England or Great Britain or anything like that. I mean, only within the last 4 or 5 years have I had ones where I've actually was on enough about basketball, about shooting hoops and playing basketball and scoring points in an NBA finals.
Yeah.
But that's only in the last few years.
Yeah.
My thingy was my point I was going to make, going back to what Andy was saying about deja vu. Would deja vu be future daydreaming?
Deja vu falls into the very unusual segment of dreams called predictive or precognitive dreams.
Precognitive dreams, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So you got precognition and postcognition, haven't you? So and you got two different. So did you say precognition?
Precognition or predictive, dreams, yeah. And I can share a story. Now, it's not one of my dreams, and I spoke to Kim and I asked her if it was okay to share this dream with her because it's a very personal one. So she woke up, she woke up and she woke me up saying she'd had this dream, and all she could see was a turning of a hospital trolley wheel. She didn't know what it was. From view, and it was this trolley, and the wheel was flicking around on the thing. And then she saw her grandmother, who had passed away some years earlier, and her grandmother just turned to her and looked at her and said, "The wheel is about to come off." And then she woke up like that. And Kim woke me up and said, "I've had this dream. It's absolutely terrifying." And then we went back to sleep, and she was woken up by a phone call to say that her dad had had a heart attack.
Wow.
And I can still remember it very, very,
wow.
And fortunately, obviously, sadly, he's passed away since. But he did, he survived that heart attack. And she later had a dream as well, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this one as well. Well, I know she won't, but we took a photograph for the last time the whole of the family were together before her dad passed away, and in her dream she saw the photograph, and stood next to her dad was her grandmother in the dream. And then a couple of days later, sadly, her dad then passed away, and it's when her she's dreamt of her grandmother and it's come to it. It's felt like she said, like, she doesn't dream much, but when she's had these dreams, they felt so real that her grandmother was generally there, and she finds it reassuring that she's that she's looking out on her.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, that's a really powerful dream sort of story to share, and obviously thank you to Kim for saying that that's okay to sort of share. I
don't really have words for that.
The only thing I can liken that to, as I said, and I mentioned it, is obviously when I felt as though I had, I say, waking dreams, saw my mum, and having that overwhelming sense of that she was there and she was looking over me, and do you know what I mean? And that's the only I suppose time that I could sort of maybe even relate to that. I mean, I haven't, just before my mum died, I don't ever remember a dream or a sort of daydream thinking something bad necessarily is going to happen. You know, there was no precognition, if is that right? I would say precognition as such. Like I say, the only thing that I can sort of relate is, and I don't think it's postcognition, because I think I genuinely believe that I actually saw my mum at the end of the bed. So it to me it would be and obviously if you haven't heard the story, go back to the parapsychology episode, and I spoke about it at length. But that was quite a powerful emotion for me. But at the time, I felt quite helpless in that emotion, in that environment. So that's the only. And I know, Ken, you shared a story about that. You
absolutely.
A sort of similar sort of story when you were on the landing and you saw. Was it your dad on the landing and stuff? So you know, but obviously go back to the parapsychology episode and listen to those. But that I've never had that. I've had like a family member that died and then them say that actually effectively reading between the lines something else is going to happen and then that thing happened. I mean that must have been quite powerful for Kim. Obviously I can imagine, you know, that must have been, you know.
We talk about it a lot whenever, you know, we get into those deep conversations. It's you know, it's something that's really, as you can imagine, stuck with her. So Andy, when we did that parapsychology episode, you talked a little bit about deja vu, about things that you thought would happen and then happen. Have you ever had any sort of precognitive dreams that you can recall? You said you had a dream in your pocket you were going to whip out. Is that one of those?
Well, the deja vu stuff, I probably get once or twice a week, but I was just thinking then, is that it's never anything like symbolic. It's always just like, say I'm walking down the road and I'll see 3 people, and then when it happens, I'm like, I remember that. You know what I mean? It's just boring stuff like that. It's probably because my life's quite repetitive at the minute.
I think everybody's is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is it though? Is it the dream? And when you say the deja vu, is it that you've seen that before, or is it just that you think you have? I can't make the distinction.
I'm pretty confident. Sometimes it is. When I see it, I'm like, I think I've seen that before. Then I remember, I did dream about that.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's like, I'll know what happens next. So
Yes.
It's not like after it's happened. It'll be like,
yes.
Oh, well, a cat's going to run across now.
And that's what I think. I think that's what I was getting to. I think there's times when you think, I've been here before, and then in your own mind you think, well, actually, this is going to happen, and then it does, and you're like, holy fudge! You're like, oh, okay, I knew that was going to happen. Somebody, and in your mind, somebody, you know, you're in a bar or whatever, and you say, right, somebody will walk through there in a minute, and then somebody comes to, and you're like, bloody hell!
Never a lottery ticket though. Never a lottery ticket.
No. Never happens like that, does it? Never happens.
No, the one that's in my pocket is it's a long ass dream. I remember it probably mid-2000s, and it was just the ending of the dream. Like, I remember waking up feeling so refreshed. I wake up and I'm always tired, but this day I woke up. It was like someone was playing a harp. Like, I was that refreshed. But basically, like, it's quite morbid actually. There's like a nuke went off, and I saw this massive flash. And next thing you know, I'm just looking at like a feather. It's all white, everything's white, and it's just a feather just doing that. And I just woke up and I was like, I feel so relaxed. It's just like the weirdest thing.
Google that. Get on that, mate. End of the word. Apparently, deja vu is experienced by researchers associated deja vu experiences with good memory functions.
Mine's shot. These last few years. Oh god, I couldn't even tell you what I did yesterday.
But if you like so repetitive, mate, you probably could.
It's interesting in terms of, and I know people talk about sort of past life and all of that, but it'd be interesting to know, and I genuinely don't know the statistics. Certainly, you could go into Google and find out. But in terms of my social circle of friends and people that I chat to, how many people feel as though they've had a sense of deja vu, like genuine deja vu? And I know people say, I think, but genuine deja vu in terms of not only have I been in this situation, but I've been in this situation and I know effectively what is coming. Because I reckon it's quite high, and that might, in a way, that's quite shocking. But I reckon it's quite a high proportion of people that at some point will have said they've been in a situation where you walk into a room and you go, and you do a bit of a double take, and someone goes, "Oh, what's up?" You go, "Oh, nothing. It's okay." But in your own mind, you're like, "I've seen this before, or I've been here before, or I've done this before." And the same people have been in the same place, drinking the same drinks, eating the same food at a party or whatever. And you just know that somebody's going to come through the door or whatever. And it happens and you're like, fudging hell. And I think actually it would happen. I think quite a lot of people would say that they've had that experience. I don't know the statistics, obviously, but I can imagine quite a lot.
Ken's talking away there. I don't think he realises he's on mute.
But I am. I'm back now.
Oh, he's back now. There he is. Yeah.
But before he does, dreams about feathers, Andrew. People who dream about feathers dream about receiving a message from God. That enlightened experience that you're having there. That's a concern, given that you dream basically about an apocalypse.
Yeah. So God's telling you that the end of the world is nigh. Brilliant, Andy. Thanks for that.
I think we all saw that one coming.
2021.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, as long as we got our day trips and all
exactly.
away, that's fine.
Exactly, after that. Make it towards the end, God, if you could. To be honest, we've got a lot packed into 2020.
We've got a lot packed into the first 5 or 6 months, so just make it back end of the year.
Absolutely. 60 to 70% apparently of people admit to having feeling deja vu at least once in their lives. And the age range mostly is between 15 and 25 years old.
Yeah, someone said that to me yesterday.
Well, he's here all week, folks.
60, was that 60 to 70%?
Yeah.
You see that? I find that like a not astounding in terms of the fact that I've felt it, but to me that seems like a massively high proportion. You think 70% of people. It is significant, isn't it?
It's a deja vu, but they won't admit to seeing. They won't admit to believing in the paranormal or ghosts or stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll happily admit to deja vu.
Yeah, and I think that and I think me and you come from the same wavelength here, aren't we? And again, go back to the parapsychology episode in terms of there has to be a link. There has to be a link between one and the other type thing. But yeah, 70% seems quite high to me. But,
so let's chuck.
Sorry, no, go ahead. Sorry, I was just about to
let's chuck one out there in terms of the extreme level of dreaming, somnambulism, sleepwalking. Has anybody ever done that?
No, I've never sleepwalked. No.
Never.
No, Big Grey has. But...
Oh Lord Almighty! Do we need to share these stories?
Not massively. Let's just say you got the bedroom and the toilet mixed up.
Oh yeah, Funnily enough, funnily enough, the last episode we did was about Brexit. The day after Brexit, we were on Sid Stag Do.
Yeah, we were absolutely.
Yeah,
he got a couple of anyway. Couple of
mixed
up that night. If you know, you know.
Adam, you were saying about sleepwalking?
Sleep. I don't think it's anything I've ever done. But I tell you one thing, that when I was Googling dreams and all sorts of stuff for this episode, the one thing that fascinated me most, maybe because I've got 2 children under the age of 4, is babies and toddlers do not dream about themselves. That's fascinating, isn't it?
How do they know that though?
Well, to be honest, that was the first thing I thought when I read it. It's like, Christ Almighty, if you're going to
so you ask a 3-year-old, do you dream about yourself? And they're like, what? Hey, what?
Yeah.
How do they know that?
I don't know how they know that, but ultimately, it's down to the fact that when you're that age, you aren't self-aware, so you don't dream about yourself.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's quite a lovely state to be in, isn't it? Really, self-aware.
I do remember and I might be doing her a bit of a disservice now, but Abigail, my youngest, I vaguely remember a story where Jenny might have said, maybe Abby, when she was a bit younger, sort of got up and maybe came into our room, and whether she was sort of awake but in that sort of sleepy state, or whether she was actually asleep and just sleepwalking. And I don't know which one it was, because obviously you can sort of be awake but still be a bit non-compos mentis, or was it the flip side and actually you were asleep but you were sort of walking? But there's been a couple of times where she might have sort of walked in and it's like, are you awake? And she's a bit like, and then she wakes up and it's like, okay, we'll put you back in bed type thing. So did she sleepwalk? Did she? I don't know.
I thought for just 1 second there you're going to say, I remember when Abby was 2, she dreamt about scoring the winning goal at Wembley.
She might have done. I don't know. I didn't question her about that. I don't know.
You might have.
But yeah, mate, I do vaguely remember Jenny talking about maybe Abby sort of sleepwalking. But was it a sleepwalk? Was it she was sort of awake, half conscious, that middle ground where I don't know, genuinely don't know. But I never have. I've never, as far as I'm aware, I've never sort of sleepwalk as such.
No, me neither. To another. But here's it. Like I say, always have another idea when we come to doing dream about something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit different. So, people who keep dream journals are thought to be a little bit more creative than the rest of us. If we did another episode on dreams, and let's face it, I think we can. I think we've probably got enough subject matter that we've probably not covered off in this hour here that maybe we could do another episode on this. Would we be prepared, maybe if we discussed it 6 months prior, just jotting down our dreams every night for 6 months or something like that? Is that something we'd be interested in doing?
If I'm saying a Ouija board, yeah, I'm fine.
You probably could. The issue that you might have is that obviously some nights you might not remember your dreams. So it might be that you wake up in your in your deep sleep state or the end of your deep sleep state and actually you don't remember. But yeah, I don't see.
We could make an experiment though. It's like log every day. Say, I didn't dream anything that day, but then write down what you dreamed of or whatever. And then with the
100%. And that's what I'm thinking. Yes, we're not going to dream every day, or we are, but we're not going to necessarily remember.
Yeah, you might not.
Says, so you wake up, January 3rd, didn't dream about anything, or Gaz will dream about winning some match at table tennis, or winning an ACCA when Juventus had just scored or something like that. I don't know, but I think that would be quite an interesting experiment to do. If we then came back to like we agreed to do it 6 months time, we stick a pen and a paper by the side of the bed. We wake up and we write down our dreams, and we can go back and review it and just go through that information.
A TBR diary.
A TBR diary.
The 1st
of January seems like a good idea.
Yeah, does that sound like something interesting to you?
That'd be a fantastic idea.
I'm up for that.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So do we start it now, or do we go 1st of January? Do we go New Year, or are you on about doing it from now till whenever?
No, I say we start at some point next year, and then we chuck it, because we are going to revisit a lot of the stuff that we've done. Like Andy says, I think Andy made a joke in the previous past that we're now 46 episodes in, and we got 45. We're going to do this one again. So. In a couple of, sometime next year, we'll all talk when we're on the podcast together and say, right, tomorrow we'll sit down and we're going to talk about it. In 6 months' time, we're going to evaluate this information.
Yeah.
I
think that could be interesting, couldn't it?
Yeah,
also,
I can do that.
I'd be also interested to see as well. So it's like, we know we're going on about dreams and stuff like that, and you were saying, Jerry, about past lives and stuff. If there's a way to do hypnotic regression, I'd be interested in doing that too. I'd rather do that than a bloody Ouija board, that's for sure. I don't care if you are a minister now, Adam. But
yeah, I am a minister, but as far as I understand, I am not licensed to carry out hypnosis.
You come anywhere near me with your holy water, pal, I'm telling you.
I do think it's something that, but it would be interesting in terms of not only, what are the dreams that you can remember and stuff, but actually how many, and it would give an insight into your sleep patterns in terms of how many nights genuinely do you remember your dreams? Does that mean that you generally wake up and you generally dream towards the end of the night? If you don't remember your dreams, does that mean you dream towards the start of the night and you wake up in a deep sleep state, or whatever, whatever it may be? I think that's a bit of a goer, dude, actually.
And actually, my watch definitely tracks my sleep. I'm guessing you guys have all got one that tracks your sleep as well. You can get these apps on your phone now where you can just leave them by the side of your bed and it will ping up if it hears a noise or talking or something like that. So maybe I think that'd be an absolutely just an all-encompassing. We'll keep a diary, track our sleep as well, and see what happens. I mean, deep sleep is obviously where your body repairs itself, and that obviously explains why I'm broke. I'm getting like 14 minutes a night. But I think that'd be sounds like a really, really cool thing.
I think it'd just be just interesting just to say, actually, that night I dreamt about that and that, and that night I actually don't recall any dreams, and that night I did this, and that night I did that. I suppose you could go down the whole hog and say, okay, does the time of sleep influence? So actually I went to bed at 2 a.m. and I don't remember any dream whatsoever. The following night, I went to bed at 10 because I was knackered, and actually remember this, and this sort of thing. Yeah. So you could go into real detail about a dream sleep, but I do take your point. It would be interesting, even if at just a rudimentary level we went, that night I don't remember anything. That night I had a dream on that night, and you just go through.
That's it. Cool. So we're at the hour mark now. Who wants to say their goodbyes first?
I'll go first because Ken's drinking. Lovely, quite an interesting episode again tonight, guys. Loved it. Loved being part of it. Love, as always, to the next one that we do on dreams. And as Adam mentioned, Andy had mentioned earlier, we've got a lot planned, and I hope COVID allows us to do all the things we want to do. But this is one thing that we can definitely do because it's us and it's in our own home and we can do it. So look forward to where this episode is going, and look forward to the next time, guys.
Absolutely.
Cool. Kenno?
Yeah, again, that's when we talk about stuff like this, and I'm sure, and hopefully it comes across to the listeners and the viewers as well, the time flies by. Yeah. When we're talking about, the last episode, guys, was about Brexit. And if you've stuck with that, then that was a slog. For all four of us, just a slog to get through. This hour has flown by. And I think that goes to show that all of us are invested in this subject. We're invested in, and we all have our opinions on it and our own visions on what these actually signify and represent. So thank you very much indeed for having me on, guys. On board, guys. It's been an absolutely brilliant episode. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and like Gary said, we could do another 2 or 3 of this. It's genuinely been a pleasure. And guys in the comments, what are your dreams? What do you dream about? What things do you have reoccurring dreams? Do you have these continuing themes? Do you have the same things, Andy, where you have a deja vu quite regularly? I think that'd be very interesting to see what other people have got going on. But in the meantime, until then, thank you very much indeed, guys. See you soon.
Cheers, dude. Andy?
Echo everyone else. It's an interesting one. It's a quick episode. I just hope I don't dream of a naked ad with his wee I've kept that in my head.
If you do write it down.
If you do write it down, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, in the next 6 months, how many times do we all think of that?
I pray for your sake that you don't.
Yeah, there's a streaker after scored the goal. Streaker out on the pitch.
Yeah, that's what Gaz
scored the winning goal at Wembley, and all I can dream about is this dude running across the pitch. Brilliant.
Oh boy.
But yeah, absolutely. I totally echo everybody's sentiments there. It was a case of like the last one felt like a slog. This one absolutely whipped by. Really, really enjoyed it. So until next time, when no doubt there'll be plenty more stuff to talk about. Take care.